Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about NXT for August the 24th, 2021. So yeah, man, so this is the aftermath of NXT Takeover 36. And man, with this show, man, I was not impressed with tonight's show. Tonight, like it felt like stuff that happened on this show tonight, like it didn't make any sense at all. It didn't make no sense at all. You know, like the decisions that they made tonight and all that stuff, like none of it made any sense. And then another thing, dude, it was just so boring tonight. I don't know what it was, but it just felt so boring. Like it was dry. Like it felt stale. Like it felt like nothing of importance happened. That's what it felt like to me. You know, that's how I felt about the show. You know, it wasn't exciting tonight. It wasn't all that good tonight. But yeah, man. So yeah, so this is the NXT Takeover review. Not NXT Takeover review. This is the NXT review after Takeover for August the 24th, 2021. And yeah, man, if you haven't done this already, man, I say this all the time, hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button. And right next to it, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell to be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I am here every single week, man. Tuesdays for NXT, Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite, Thursdays for Impact Wrestling, and Fridays is for AEW Rampage. And Saturdays and Sundays, of course, are for the pay-per-views, whether it's AEW, WWE, or Impact Wrestling. So yeah, so first off, man, we started off the show with Cameron Grimes, who is the new $1 Million Champion, and Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And so yeah, so we were supposed to have a celebration tonight. It was supposed to be a celebration for Cameron Grimes winning the $1 Million Championship. And so yeah, DiBiase, he spoke. He said that he was looking for someone who was gonna carry the $1 Million legacy. And so Cameron Grimes, so DiBiase, he says that Grimes was never a quitter and all that stuff. And Grimes, he has said that when he first met Ted DiBiase, like he drove him crazy, you know, and all that stuff. And so DiBiase, he said that he done it to test him. And Grimes, he has said, I'm glad that you did that. I'm glad that you did test me. And so Grimes, he has said that, you know, tonight was about, at TakeOver, it was about us. It was about us. And I couldn't imagine you becoming LA Knight's butler. So that's why I'm the new $1 Million Champion. I beat LA Knight, and now I'm here, standing here today as the $1 Million Champion. And so Grimes, he asked Ted DiBiase, like, what do we do from here now? What do we do from here now? And so they both said, you know, what like they asked, where are we gonna go from here? And so they both said to the moon. To the moon. And so, yeah, they both laughed. Ted DiBiase did his maniacal laugh, his signature laugh, and Cameron Grimes also laughed. And so we had money. We had money, quote unquote money, you know, coming from the ceiling and all that stuff. And then the money had like Cameron Grimes' face over it. So yeah, that was it. Really wasn't much to it. I was expecting like a celebration, like partying. I guess like going somewhere, going to a club or something. That's what I thought they meant, like when they said party. But we just got this, and that was it, man. And so right after that, we start off the show with our first match. So yeah, this is our first match of the night. So our first match of the night, it was Ridge Holland with Pete Dunne in his corner versus Toothless Timothy Thatcher with Tommaso Ciampa in his corner. And so yeah, man. So yeah, so both of these guys they went right after each other, and then both of these guys they were going back and forth. And then Holland he had slammed Thatcher on the ropes, and so we had a belly to belly suplex to Holland, and so Thatcher went right after Holland's arm, and then we had an exploder suplex to Thatcher, and we had a short arm clothesline to Thatcher. And so at that point we had Holland he took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture of course. And so both of these guys they were trading European uppercuts. And so Thatcher he had slammed Holland on the rope, so that's payback for what Holland had did to him earlier. And so Thatcher he went right after Holland's leg and ankle, so that's really smart because Holland he had like an ankle injury that put him on that put him on the shelf for a long time. And so yeah, and so to end the match, man, we had a lift and reverse DDT to Timothy Thatcher to win the match. So Ridge Holland wins the match. And so right after the match, Thatcher he not Thatcher. Ciampa, we had Tommaso Ciampa. In my notes I put Thatcher checks on Thatcher. But it's Ciampa checks on Thatcher. So yeah, Ciampa went to go check on Thatcher, and so Holland he tried to attack Ciampa from behind, and so Ciampa saw it coming, so Ciampa fought Ridge Holland, and so you had Oney Lorcan and a returning Danny Burch came back, and they both attacked Ciampa and Thatcher, and so Holland he had hit. So yeah, so Thatcher he was about to go after Pete Dunne, and so Pete Dunne just backed away. He backed away, and so Ridge Holland took him out from behind. And so Holland he had hit Thatcher with his stick, that stick that Holland comes out to when he makes his entrance. He had hit Thatcher with that. And so yeah, man. So yeah, that was pretty much it with that. So the heels stood tall. I don't know what they're naming themselves. I don't know what their name gonna be, but we have a new faction. It looks like we have a new faction. And so yeah, it's great to see Danny Burch back, man. That tag team division, bro, it needs some spice, man. It needs some spice in that tag team division. Like, we really don't have that many teams in the tag team division. They are trying with the tag team division, but man, it is great to see Danny Burch back with Oney Lorcan because Oney Lorcan, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing nothing. So yeah, I could definitely see them go after the tag team titles because they never lost it. They never lost it. They had to relinquish those titles because Danny Burch he got hurt. Remember when it was Balor and Cross, they went after the tag team championships, and Burch got hurt in that match. At the time I said the match never should have happened, and it shouldn't have. The match never should have happened. But yeah, so they had to relinquish the titles, and because Oney Lorcan he couldn't defend the championships himself, so that's why they had to relinquish it. And so yeah, man. So yeah, man. Danny Burch is back, and it's great to see him back. And so right after that, man, we had Carmelo Hayes. He was interviewed backstage. I forgot the guy's name. He was the same guy that interviewed Adam Cole when he was at that the poolside area or something like that. I forgot his name, but he interviews Carmelo Hayes. And so they were backstage, and so they were talking about the NXT Breakout tournament and all that stuff. And so Hayes, he started talking about the matches that he had with Kushida and Adam Cole, back-to-back matches with Kushida and Adam Cole. And so, you know, people Hayes has said that people call him the underdog and all that stuff, but he's not the underdog. He's the overdog because he doesn't look down on himself. So that's why he calls himself the overdog. And so the interviewer had asked Hayes, like, how do you prepare for a match against Odyssey Jones, a guy like Odyssey Jones, who's a big guy? And so Hayes had said he gave one simple answer: you can't prepare for a guy like Odyssey Jones. And so Hayes, he has said that he has to be very careful. He has to be very careful, on, you know, taking on Odyssey Jones because one mistake he'll lose the match. One mistake that Hayes make, he can lose the match. And so the interviewer had asked him what exactly was gonna happen. What will happen when you win this tournament? And so Hayes, he has said you're just gonna have to wait and see. You're just gonna have to wait and see. But by the end of this time, when the tournament ends, when everything is said and done, I will have championship gold wrapped around my waist. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. So that was the finals. So the finals was Carmelo Hayes versus Odyssey Jones for the winner. The winner will be the NXT Breakout Tournament winner. A match that should have happened at Takeover, man. But yeah, man, it happened tonight. And so right after that, man, we have McKenzie Mitchell. She was backstage. She interviews Indi Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. So that's Index. So yeah, so Hartwell, she started talking about her bond with Dexter Lumis and all that stuff. And so McKenzie Mitchell had asked, when's the wedding? You guys, you proposed to Dexter Lumis. When is the wedding? And so Hartwell, she didn't say anything. She didn't have anything to say. She didn't know how to answer it. And so Lumis had like a drawing. He had pulled out a drawing from his pockets. And so it was a drawing of him and Indi Hartwell. And so we had the date on the paper. And so McKenzie Mitchell had read it out loud and all that stuff. And so the wedding date is September the 14th. September the 14th. What day is that? Wednesday, right? Yep. Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So on NXT. So yeah. Yeah, what's gonna happen at the wedding? I don't know. It should be really interesting since Dexter Lumis, he doesn't speak, he doesn't show any emotion. So I wanna see what exactly is gonna be like. But more than likely Gargano, he's gonna ruin it. Gargano is gonna ruin the wedding. But yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. So the wedding is on September the 14th. And so right after that, man, we had a tag team match, and it was from the women. It was Jacy Jayne and Gigi Dolin versus Kacy, Catanzaro, and Kayden Carter. And so yeah, man, we had Kacy and Carter. They took control for a little bit, and so Dolin and Hayne, Dolin and Jayne, they took control of the match. We had a cannonball to Kacy from Jayne, and she kicks out. And so at that point, the heels, they took control of the match. We had a hot tag to Carter. She took out Jayne and Dolin. And so we had a running boot to Dolin while Dolin was on a rope, while she was draped on a rope. And so we had a pump kick to Carter from Jayne. And so Jacy had broke up the pin. And so to end the match, we had an assisted 450 splash to Jayne from Kacy to win the match. So Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter wins the match. And so that was pretty much it with that. Really wasn't much to the match. And so right after the match, we had Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter. They went to the commentary's desk and they started yelling at Vic Joseph, who was on commentary, asking for an NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. Like Vic Joseph make the rules. Go to Mr. Regal for that, man. He's the general manager. Mr. Regal is the general manager of NXT, not Vic Joseph. If you want a tag team match, go to Mr. Regal's office. But yeah, that was it with that, man. So yeah, so Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter, yes, they do deserve tag team championship match because they have been winning. I really don't see anybody else vying after those tag team titles but Carter and Catanzaro. So yeah, they do deserve a tag team title opportunity or a tag team championship match. So yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, we had McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Raquel Gonzalez, who is still the NXT Women's Champion. And so Raquel Gonzalez started talking about Dakota Kai's toughness and all that stuff. And so yeah, she brought up Kaylee Ray from NXT UK, who's now a part of NXT now, taking up her spotlight and everything. And she knows why that she did what she did because she wants a championship match. And so Gonzalez, she has told Kaylee Ray, like, hey, you can cut the line, you can wait in line, whenever you strike, I'm ready. And so yeah, man. So we had the Robert Stone brand interrupted Raquel Gonzalez. So we had Frankie Monet, Jessica Mel, and Robert Stone. They interrupted Raquel Gonzalez. And so Monet, she had said that, you're talking about people taking up your spotlight. I'm gonna be the one to take up your spotlight and your championship. And so yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, Monet doesn't deserve a championship match. She's done nothing, absolutely nothing. And in the last match she was in, she lost. It was a tag team match. It was her and Jessica Mea versus I think Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter, and they lost. They lost to them. So yeah, they don't deserve a she doesn't deserve a championship match either, man. She don't deserve an NXT Women's Championship. Like she's like alone, she hasn't done anything. Like what big name has she beaten to gain a championship match, a women's championship match? Who exactly has she beaten? What big name has she beaten? Nobody. And Kaylee Ray, she just came from NXT UK, longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion. You know, you can't just go straight up to the top. You gotta win matches first. You gotta get some wins first before you can get a championship match. But yeah, man. So yeah, and yeah, but like they really right now in the NXT Women's division, they really don't have anybody else. They don't have nobody left because you called too many of them up. You called too many people up from NXT. You called up Shotzi, you called up Tegan, you called up Toni Storm, and you don't have nobody else. You don't have nobody left, and you released Mercedes Martinez, and like, dude, there's nobody left. There's nobody left on that NXT roster. Ember Moon, I don't know where Ember Moon is, but they said that she was injured or something like that, or she had like a dental procedure. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I really don't know who's next. Who's the rightful contender for the NXT Women's Championship? That's why I would have gave it to Dakota Kai, man. I would have gave it to Dakota Kai because she would have been she just would have been a better champion, bro. She would have been a better champion. She never gotten the opportunity. Never gotten the opportunity. But yeah, man. So yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, man, we had Odyssey Jones. He was backstage. He was interviewed by the same guy that interviewed Carmelo Hayes. And so Odyssey Jones, he said that he's excited for this moment, being in the finals for the NXT Breakout tournament. And he is an honor to be competing in the finals. And so the interviewer had asked him about his journey to WWE and all that stuff. And so Jones, he had said that he didn't expect to be in WWE that quickly, but he's here. He's here now. And so the interviewer had asked Jones about about the meaning of his name and everything. And so he said that Odyssey means his energy. And so Odyssey Jones, he started talking about Carmelo Hayes and his advantages, his speed, his toughness, and all that stuff. And so Jones, he has said that he has to win this. He has to win this tournament. He has to. And so that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a women's match. It was Valentina Feroz versus Kaylee Ray. So yeah, so Feroz, I don't know what she was wearing, man. She was wearing feathers all over her ring gear. It was a distraction, and it got all over the ring. So yeah, so Feroz, she started using her speed against Kaylee Ray, and she even got some offense in on Kaylee Ray. And so Ray took back control of the match, and then she had a super kick to Feroz, and to end the match, she had a gory bomb to Feroz to win the match. So Kaylee Ray wins the match, and that was it, man. Nothing but a squash match, man. So yeah, she wants the NXT Women's Championship. She's gonna have to get more wins. She's gonna have to get more wins than over Valentina Feroz. She has to beat more people. So yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Jayne and Gigi Dolin. They were backstage. They were upset that they lost earlier tonight, and so they got interviewed by a guy that was behind the camera. And so they asked Jayne and Dolin about their reaction about their loss from earlier. And so we had Mandy Rose. Interrupted and told both Gigi Dolin and Jacy Jayne to follow her, come with her, and never look back. And so yeah, that was pretty much it with that. We still don't know why Mandy Rose. We still don't know the reason why she's there from on NXT. She was on Monday Night Raw. She was just on Monday Night Raw. She was on Monday Night Raw, and they brought her to NXT with no explanation. Like, was it a trade? Like, what was it? Why she's here? I mean, like, we know why she's here and what she's doing, but like, why? Well, like, why she's here? Like, who do you trade? Like, who exactly did you trade with her with? Who did you trade her with? Was it a trade? If so, who did you trade her with? What did you trade? Who did you trade her with? But yeah, they still haven't explained it. They still haven't explained why she's here. They still never explained it. So yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Samoa Joe, the new NXT champion, Samoa Joe. And so yeah, so Joe he came out to the ring and he says that at Takeover 36, he took out Karrion Kross and became the first ever three-time NXT champion. So yeah, Karrion Kross, man. Speaking of Karrion Kross, man, what in the hell was he wearing on Monday Night Raw last night? What was he wearing, dude? Oh my god, dude. This guy looks so terrible, man. Like really, he really did. They put this guy in a mask. They put him in a mask and they put him in suspenders. And it like dude, the dude looked completely ridiculous, man. He looked stupid. Like how? Like why? How and why? Why did you put it on him? Why would you put him in a mask? And why would you put him in suspenders? Like the dude looked terrible, man. He looks terrible. Look like a low budget version of Demolition. That's what exactly what he looked like, man. But yeah, I'll show you guys a picture, man. It should be on the screen right now. But yeah, man, that's exactly what he looks like. He looks terrible. No Scarlett. They took Scarlett away from him. They took the NXT Championship away from him. Man, I'm telling you, man. What Adam Cole said in that promo, bro, he was absolutely 100% right. You know, without the entrance and without Scarlett and without the smoke and mirrors and all that stuff, you are nothing. You are nothing. He was exactly right, man. Exactly right. But yeah, man, I don't know what they doing with Cross. I really don't. I really don't know what they doing with him, man. And these people think that they're gonna book Adam Cole the right way if he shows up on the main roster. If they can't book Cross the right way, or anybody else that got called up from NXT, what makes you think that Adam Cole is gonna be treated any better? He's not. But yeah, man. But yeah, I digress. I digress. It's not about Adam Cole Cross. It's about Samoa Joe right now. So yeah, so Joe he started talking about his championship went over Cross and become a first ever three-time champion. And so Joe he has said that he did not come to celebrate. You know, normally people will come out here and celebrate their championship win, but I'm not like that. And so Joe he has said that he's the king of land of savages. He is the king of the land of the savages. And so Joe he had asked anybody in the back who's gonna step up. Anybody in the back is gonna step up. If so, come out here and step up to me. And so Joe he has said that the time is now. Time is now, and the champ is waiting. And so we have Pete Dunne. His theme music plays. So Pete Dunne theme music goes off and all that stuff. I miss his old theme music. I do not like his theme music that they have for him right now. They never should have changed his theme song. But yeah, they played his theme song. And Pete Dunne comes out. He spoke, and he said he didn't care about how many times Joe won a championship and all that stuff. And you know, he's basically saying that he wants a championship opportunity. So he told Joe to go to the back and tell Mr. Rico to make the match and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I didn't have no problem with that one. Pete Dunne, he actually does. He's probably the only person that deserves a championship match. And so right after that, we had LA Knight. He came out, and so I was like, oh God. So LA Knight, he came out, former $1 million champion, former. And so he came out, and so he started bragging and talking and all that stuff that he's the one and only $1 million megastar and all that stuff. And so he challenged Joe to a match for the NXT Championship. So he said that he will be the first challenger and the very last challenger because he's going to win the championship. And so we had Dunne. He had told Knight if he stepped any closer in the ring, he's going to break his fingers. And so we had Kyle O'Reilly came out. So Kyle O'Reilly came out. He was limping to the ring. And so because, you know, his match that he had at TakeOver with Adam Cole at 3 stages of hell, 2 out of 3 falls. And so, yeah, so O'Reilly was limping to the ring. And so O'Reilly, he had called Pete Dunne Pete Dunne. And he called LA Knight La Knight. And so, yeah, O'Reilly, he started insulting Knight and all that stuff, talking about his vest. You know, calling him, you know, a ripoff of Stone Cold Steve Austin's vest. And so O'Reilly, he has said that, yeah, he focused his attention to Joe. And he said, hey, Joe, I'm not here to ask for a championship match. I'm not here to talk my way into a championship match. I actually earned a title match. And so right from behind, man, we had Ridge Holland. He took out Kyle O'Reilly from behind. And so yeah, a brawl had broke out. And so we had Ciampa. He came out of nowhere. He took out Pete Dunne. And so Holland, who was also out there, so Holland was out there. He headbutted Ciampa. And so Knight, he tried to take out Joe from behind. And so Joe, he saw it coming. So Joe took out Knight. And so that was it with that. That was pretty much it with that. And so Ciampa was in the ring too. So Ciampa was looking at the championship too. He was looking at Joe hold up the title, so Ciampa could be going after that title too. You know, Goldie, when Tommaso Ciampa was the NXT champion, man, dude was freaking awesome, dude. Man, I miss those days when Tommaso Ciampa was a heel and he went after the NXT championship and he was the NXT champion. This guy was like he was a heel. That was a heel right there. This dude was booed out of the building. This guy came out to no theme music. This guy came out to no theme music, and the crowd booing. The crowd booing was his theme music. That like hatred. They was chanting "F you Ciampa, F you Ciampa." That was theme music right there. That was theme music from the crowd. That the greatest theme music for Ciampa was coming out to no theme music. So yeah, man, that's the Ciampa that I miss. But yeah, man. But I don't think we'll ever get that Ciampa ever again. But yeah, man. But so yeah, so yeah. As I said earlier, man, I think Pete Dunne is probably the only person that deserves the title opportunity because they have been building it up a little bit. They have been building up. They have been building up Pete Dunne and Samoa Joe. They had like their backstage moment. You know, they stare down backstage, and you know, Dunne he actually, if you want to go that far, man, Dunne he actually beat Ilya Dragunov in a match before he won the NXT UK Championship. So that could be another reason why he's going after the NXT Championship. And then in that Fatal 5-Way, he was never pinned. He was never pinned in that match. It was Kyle O'Reilly that was submitted. He was submitted. And so, yeah, which brings me to Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly, he doesn't deserve the NXT Championship match. He deserves a title match. You know, I said it in my TakeOver review. He deserves a title match, but not the, you know, he should be going after the Cruiserweight Championship or the North American Championship. But my best guess, I'll probably send him after the Cruiserweight title. You know, send O'Reilly after the Cruiserweight title because he actually beaten Kushida. He beaten Kushida, and it would have made it'll be a better story to send him after the Cruiserweight title. He beaten Kushida in a non-title match when he had his feud with Adam Cole, and you know, and Roddy he have his eyes on the Cruiserweight title as well, so they can they could revisit the Undisputed Era feud with O'Reilly and Strong and all that stuff. So yeah, it would have been a better story to send him after the Cruiserweight title instead of sending him after the NXT Championship. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, Pete Dunne he was not pinned or submitted in the match. It was Kyle O'Reilly that was pinned and submitted in that Fatal 5-Way in the NXT Championship match at that last takeover that they had, the Great American Bash. Which one was it? It was one of them. I forgot the name of it, but it was that takeover, and he got submitted by a cross. So yeah, man. And LA Knight doesn't deserve a NXT championship match either because he just lost. He just lost the $1 million championship to Cameron Grimes. So therefore he lost. He lost a match, so he doesn't deserve a championship match. Only winners deserve a championship match. And LA Knight, as far as I'm concerned, he lost. He lost. So yeah, man, so that's why the decisions that they made tonight, man, like it didn't make any sense, man. None of this stuff made any sense. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Cameron Grimes. We had Cameron Grimes, the new $1 million champion. Cameron Grimes, the $1 million champion, and Ted DiBiase. They left the arena. They left the Capitol Wrestling Center. So that was in the parking lot. And so Grimes, he had gave DiBiase the $1 million championship. You know, he believed that DiBiase should take the championship. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Cameron Grimes. He walked away for a little bit. He walked away. And so DiBiase had called Grimes back, and so he gave him back the championship. He was like, you know what, you can have this. You know, I want you to carry on my legacy. And so he just gave him the title and all that stuff. And so Cameron Grimes, he was embracing the championship and all that stuff. He was feeling it. And you know, when he was like, when I heard it, like when I heard him feeling the championship, I was like, man, that thing is not real. He did something to that championship. And so yeah, so Grimes he has said that, Dad, this championship doesn't feel right. You know, this championship doesn't feel right. It feels weird. And so yeah, he read the back. He read the back of it, and it said a replica belt. It was a WWE replica belt and all that stuff. And so DiBiase laughed. So he swapped out the titles, and so he drove off in his limo. And so yeah, so it was a fake. So he swapped out the title. He swapped out the titles, and so DiBiase he did his signature laugh, his evil laugh, and so he drove off. And so Cameron Grimes he ended off by saying that damn Ted DiBiase. And so yeah, that was it. That was pretty funny. Yeah, like when it got to that part, I was like, man, he gonna do something. He's gonna trick him. He's gonna trick him into something because he's Ted DiBiase, man, $1 million man. So yeah, man. So yeah, that was the last time we saw DiBiase. So I don't think he's ever coming back. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, man, we had McKenzie Mitchell. She was backstage. She interviews Kyle O'Reilly, or at least she tried to interview Kyle O'Reilly. And so she had asked what happened, like O'Reilly, what happened out there tonight? And so O'Reilly, he was interrupted by Duke Hudson. So Hudson, he was laughing. He was laughing at Kyle O'Reilly, you know, based off of everything that just happened. And so yeah, he started talking trash to O'Reilly, saying that hey, you having a bad day? And so O'Reilly, he had slapped Hudson right in his face. He slapped him right in his face. And so Hudson went to go beat him up. He beat him up. He started going after the ribs and all that stuff. And so yeah, Hudson had turned his back around because he thought he was finished with O'Reilly. And so O'Reilly had just took him out from behind. He attacked him from behind. And so, you had the referees and the security and the officials. They started breaking up both of these guys. And so, yeah, man, that was it with that. So O'Reilly, he started yelling, saying that he wants Hudson in a match. And so, yeah, man, so that was it, man. Kyle O'Reilly is having one hell of a bad day, man. I'll tell you that much. And so, yeah, first he got attacked by Ridge Holland, and I got attacked. He got attacked backstage. And so, yeah, man, so that was it with that. And so, yeah, they actually made it into a match next week. So it's Duke Hudson versus Kyle O'Reilly next week. So I'm guessing he's not going after the cruiserweight title, man. But yeah, so right after that, man, we had the finals of the NXT Breakout tournament, and it was Carmelo Hayes versus Odyssey Jones. And so we had Mr. Regal. Mr. Regal, he was ringside, watching the match, crowning the winner of this tournament. And so Hayes, he started using his speed against Jones. And so Jones, he had hip toss. He hip tossed Hayes across the ring, and Hayes went flying, man. And so I thought that was really nice, man. And so Hayes, he had a series of kicks and drop kicks. And so Jones, he had splatted. He splatted Hayes right in midair. So Hayes went for like a high flying move, and so Jones just splat him like a fly. And so yeah, Hayes, he started going after Jones's leg. And so yeah, the crowd was split 50-50. So you had half of the crowd cheering for Odyssey Jones, and you had the other half cheering for Carmelo Hayes. And so Hayes hit a springboard clothesline at Jones, and so Jones was still standing up. And so yeah, they did promoted that match like that final boss type level, the final boss type stuff. And so yeah, so Jones, so Hayes tried to go for the weakest part. So that's the right move. If you want to take down someone that's bigger than you, you got to go after their weak spot or a spot that you think is their weakest spot. That's what you always want to do. And so yeah, he went after the leg and all that stuff, and then he had a springboard clothesline to Jones. He was still standing up. We had a scissors kick to Jones, and he kicks out. And then Odyssey Jones had a shoulder breaker. He had a shoulder breaker to Hayes. And so at one point we had Jones, he had ran into the ring post. So Hayes moved out of the way, and Jones ran into the ring post. And so we had a top rope scissors kick to Jones. And so I think that was his finishing move. And then Jones was not down. He was still up. So yeah, so Jones again is powerful, man. Just like that final boss in a video game. And so so Hayes, he tried to go for that diving leg drop again, or that diving scissors kick again. But this time, Jones moved out of the way. He moved out of the way. And so Jones hit a standing splash. He hit a standing splash or a running splash to Hayes, and he kicks out. And so yeah, like right after that, man, right after he kicked out, he turned that move, that splash, or right after he finished, right after Jones pinned Hayes and he kicked out at 2. We had Hayes, he had rolled up. He had rolled up Jones for the crucifix pin, so for the win. So Carmelo Hayes wins the match and is the 2021 NXT Breakout Tournament winner. And so So yeah, so right after the match, we had Hayes. He had gave a shout out to Jones for the match and all that stuff. You know, showing him respect and all that. And so the interviewer had asked Hayes like, what championship are you gonna go after? Because the winner of this tournament, they get a championship match of their choosing. And so Hayes, Hayes, he had said it's too early. It's too early to decide what championship I'm going for right now. But you'll know later on. But right now it's too early. And so Hayes, he says that when he shoots, he doesn't miss. And so that was it with that. So I was shocked, man. I was shocked that they didn't get the win to Odyssey Jones. I would have went with Odyssey Jones to win that tournament. That's just me. I would have just went with him. You know, because he needs it. He needs it more than Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, he already had a breakout moment. He had a match with Kushida. He had a match with Kushida and Adam Cole. If that's not a breakout, if that's not a breakout moment, I don't know what it is. That's a breakout moment. But yeah, man. Yeah, I would have just gave it to Jones. Jones probably he needed it more. He really did. He's never had a breakout moment in NXT yet. In the short time he's been in. But when Carmelo Hayes been there, the short time he's been, he had already had a breakout moment. So yeah, it would have been a right move to just give it to Jones. Let Jones have his breakout moment. Like Hayes, he did not need that win. He didn't need it. Jones, like I thought they were gonna give it to him based off his size because you like their reports saying that Vince McMahon is gonna change NXT. That changes to NXT is coming, and they're gonna push they're gonna bring in bigger guys that's over 275 pounds and all that stuff. They're gonna push them. They're gonna push them to the moon. And Odyssey Jones is a big freaking dude. The guy is 405 pounds, and so yeah, I thought they were gonna give it to him. I thought they were gonna give it to him, and the fact that they gave it to Carmelo Hayes, I was shocked, man. I was really shocked. And to be honest, man, Carmelo Hayes was actually my pick. You know, when the tournament first started, and then I changed my pick to either Odyssey Jones or Duke Hudson, one of those guys. I changed it. But yeah, man. But Carmelo Hayes won, man. He won the match. He won the tournament. So what championship he's gonna go after, I don't know. But usually these guys they go for the world championship. So he might go after the world championship, or he can go after the North American championship. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Carmelo Hayes probably will be good. But he is not. He has no chance in hell against Joe. No chance against Joe. But yeah, man. That'll probably be career suicide if you go after Joe. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Pete Dunne, or Pete Dune, like Colorado said, Pete Dune, Rich Holland, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch. They were backstage. They spoke, and so they were talking about Ciampa. So Dunne he started talking about Joe and the NXT Championship, and Lorcan and Burch they talked about them never losing the NXT Tag Team titles, and so they're going after the NXT Tag Team titles. So yeah, man, yes, definitely yes. Go after those tag team titles. You never lost it. And so Holland, he talked about Ciampa, and he said he's gonna take him out. He's gonna take out Ciampa, just like he did Timothy Thatcher. So they mentioned on commentary that Timothy Thatcher is taken out indefinitely. So yeah, so he's gonna be out for a little bit. And so yeah, so it looks like they're going off there. They're going after all the gold, man. Dunne is going after the NXT Championship. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch going after the tag team titles, and Rich Holland, I don't know what he does. He's not going after the NXT North American Championship. But yeah, man. But they are going after all the gold. But I could probably see Lorcan and Burch winning back the titles. Either them or Legado del Fantasma, one of those guys winning the NXT tag team titles. But yeah, man. Either way, man. Either way, man. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Boa with Mei Ying versus Xyon Quinn. So yeah, I thought this is gonna be a squash match, but who the person who I thought was gonna win didn't win. So yeah, Boa he kicked Quinn, and then Mei Ying had signaled Boa. Did like a hand signal to Boa and all that stuff. I guess to finish the match. And so he turned his back on his opponent. So that's his first mistake. He turned his back on his opponent. And so Quinn he had hit a running forearm to Boa from behind. So Quinn wins the match. So Xyon Quinn wins the match, and so that was it. Shocked. Yes, did not expect this boy to lose. Did not expect him to lose. And so yeah, so Xyon Quinn, so Quinn he was celebrating on the stage and all that stuff, and so he turned around into Mei Ying, and so he ran away from Mei Ying and he ran into the crowd, and so that was it. So he took his win and he ran away, and so yeah, I don't know what was the point of that. I really didn't know what was the point of that. What was the point of having him lose, and like an enhancement match? Like really? Come on, dude. Dude, it ain't making no sense. I don't know why they put it on a show. Like this did not need to be on a show. At that point, I was like, man, what is? I was like, when I saw this after I got finished watching this, I was like, man, what is going on around here? What are they doing here? And so yeah, man, that dude, I don't know, man. I really don't know. They are changing NXT, bro. They really are. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had Mr. Regal and Johnny Gargano. They were backstage, and so Gargano he was talking about the wedding, Indi Hartwell and Dexter Lumis wedding. That's on the 14th, September the 14th. And so Gargano he wants Mr. Regal to cancel the wedding, and so Mr. Regal he said, no, I'm not gonna cancel the wedding. Their love started in NXT, and they're gonna have their wedding in NXT. And so Gargano he started arguing with Mr. Regal and all that stuff, so they're going back and forth. And then Mr. Regal had used Johnny Gargano's catchphrase, the cuckoo bananas. He's going cuckoo bananas. And so Gargano he was like, don't you say that word. I only say that. And so yeah, LA Knight he came in and he started talking about his situation from earlier, him getting taken out by Joe. And so yeah, Gargano and Knight they started arguing and all that stuff. Wondering why they're both in the office and all that. And so Gargano he had told Mr. Regal that he didn't knock, but I did. And so Mr. Regal had told LA Knight to get out, and so Gargano started celebrating and all that stuff. And so Mr. Regal had told Gargano to get out too. So he kicked them both out of his office, and so he called them both morons. And so that was it. And so yeah, they made it into a match next week too. LA Knight versus Johnny Gargano. Why is a heel versus a heel match? Heel versus heel matches usually don't work. But yeah, they have a match next week. And so right after that, man, we had Malcolm Bivens. Malcolm Bivens, the spokesperson for a diamond mine. So he was in a diamond mine factory. And so we had Roderick Strong. He was teaching a class. And so we had Bivens who was talking. He said that he was talking to the camera while Roddy was training with the other guys in the back. And so Bivens, he had said that Strong is the uncrowned cruiserweight champion. And so Bivens, he has said that Strong will issue an open challenge to anyone. And so he'll show Kushida what a cruiserweight champion should be, how a cruiserweight champion should be. And so that was it with that. And so before we get into next week's show, or before we get into the main event, let's talk about next week's show. So yeah, so next week's show is gonna be Tommaso Ciampa versus Ridge Holland, with Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch in his corner. And also we have Johnny Gargano versus LA Knight. And then we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Duke Hudson. And so those are the matches that were announced. And so yeah, man. So right after that, we had the main event. And so it was Hit Row. That's Isaiah Swerve Scott, who is the NXT North American Champion, Ashante D. Adonis, and Top Dollar with B-Fab in their corner, versus Legado del Fantasma. That's Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza. And so yeah, so Legado del Fantasma, they went right after Hit Row. And so the match didn't even start yet. And so B-Fab got involved. And so the match finally began. And so Dollar, he started throwing Wild around. And so we had a monkey flip to Mendoza from Adonis, and then a drop kick to Wild from Adonis. And so Adonis, he had took out Wild outside the floor with a flapjack. And so at that point, we had Hit Row. They took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so Legado del Fantasma, they took back control of the match. And so we had a assisted splash to Scott from Wild, and then a hot tag to Top Dollar. He took out Escobar, and then he followed it up with a stinger splash, followed up by a sidewalk slam to Escobar. And so Top Dollar he had an elbow drop to Escobar, and then Legado del Fantasma, they broke up the pin. And so Top Dollar, he had carried all three members of Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza at the same time, and he slammed them all at the same time. And so, yeah, at one point we had Santos Escobar. He shoved Adonis into Dollar, so he shoved Adonis into his own tag team partner. And so we had stereo drop kicks to Adonis from Legado del Fantasma, kicks out. And so we had a springboard drop kick to Adonis from Mendoza. So that was really nice. Yeah, he walked the ropes. And he jumped off the top rope and hit a springboard drop kick. And so, yeah, and then Mendoza, he went for a Michinoku driver. And then Swerve, he had broke up the pin with the house call on Mendoza. And so Escobar and Scott, they were going after each other. So they went back and forth. And so we had so everybody, they took each other out outside the ring. Top Dollar took out everybody outside the ring. He actually took out his own partner too by accident, along with Legado del Fantasma. And so we had a 450 splash to Escobar from Swerve, and he kicks out. And so Escobar, he had tripped up Swerve on the ring apron at one point. And so Escobar, he was about to get back into the ring, so he was outside. And so we had B-Fab. She took out Escobar from behind. And so at that point, I was like, man, come on. How many times are they going to get involved in this more? Like, how many times B-Fab is going to get involved? Like, out of Del Fantasma, they outnumbered. It's like it's a 4-on-3. And so, yeah. The camera was positioned a certain way. And so I was like, yeah, somebody about to come out here. And so we had Elektra Lopez. She came out, and she stared down B-Fab. And so B-Fab was yelling at Elektra, who are you? Why are you out here? Who are you? And so Elektra Lopez, she had hit B-Fab with a pipe. So she had a pipe in her hand, and she hit B-Fab with the pipe. And so we had Lopez. She had threw the pipe to Isaiah Swerve Scott. I don't know what exactly was that about. The referee saw her throw the pipe to Swerve, and so Swerve got distracted by the referee taking away the pipe from him. And then Santos Escobar had rolled up Scott for the pin. And so Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, they won the match. And so that was it. That was a screwy finish. That was a dumb ending to a match. Like what? Like he could have easily just threw it to the side. Like why did she throw it to him? That's the thing. Why did she throw it to him? I mean, the guy was already distracted. By you being there. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But it was just so weird, man. It was so weird. Like she threw him the pipe, and the referee, he got distracted by the referee taking the pipe away from him. And like the referee saw her throw the pipe to Swerve. And so yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, the match was good. The match was okay. You know, it was competitive and everything, but man, that ending, man. Oh my gosh, man. This ending was this is bad, man. The ending was bad. And you know, like it looked dumb. It was like so dumb, dude. And then another thing, man, the champions losing. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I do not like to see champions lose in non-title matches. Like, you got pinned. Swerve got pinned in the match. North American champion getting pinned in a tag team match, in a non-title match. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I really don't know. And so, yeah. Then another thing, man. I mentioned heel versus heel matches earlier with Gargano and LA Knight. This is a heel versus a heel match, too. You know, ever since Hit Row, they made their debut, they were heels. They were always portrayed as heels. Legado del Fantasma are heels. So, yeah, and I said this the last time I did my review. You can't do a heel versus a heel match. You can't do a babyface versus a babyface. You can't do good versus good. It's always good versus evil. You can't do evil versus evil. You can't do good versus good. If you're doing good versus good, somebody got to come out as evil. If you're doing evil versus evil, somebody got to come out as the good guy. You can't do evil versus evil. Like, you can't. You can't do good versus good. Like, you just can't. It's not going to work out. So yeah, somebody got to be the babyface in this. So who is the babyface in this feud? Who am I supposed to cheer for? That's the thing. Who are the fans supposed to cheer for? Because it seemed like the fans, they don't even know who to cheer for. Because, like, Hit Row, they've been showing heel tendencies in this match. Like, out of the Fantasma, they were outnumbered. And you had B-Fab got involved in the match like a second time in this match. And finally, they had somebody you had somebody that showed up on, like, out of the Fantasma side, evening up the odds. I don't know, man. Who are the heels and who are the baby faces? That's what I want to know. So I'm guessing Hit Row are the baby faces and Legado del Fantasma are the heels. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, man. But I will say this though. I will say this about Elektra Lopez. It does look good. She does look good with Legado del Fantasma. You know, I think every group or a faction, I think they need at least one female. I think they need at least one female to make the group look even more dangerous. That's what I think, man. But yeah, she looks good with Legado del Fantasma. But yeah, man. And then like, dude, I kind of knew that there were somebody else was gonna get involved in this too because yeah, just like what I said earlier, Legado del Fantasma, they were outnumbered. You know, and they can't really hit the women either over there, so they gonna have to find another woman to side with them. And so they found somebody. So now they're even now. They're even now. So, but yeah, that was it with that. That was it with the main event. That was it with the show. And you know, overall show was not all that good. It was not all that good. Like it was so, to me it felt boring. Like stuff on the show didn't make any sense. Too many questions like why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Or why is this not happening? Like dude, those are the questions that I asked myself when I was watching this show tonight. You know, it didn't make any sense. Like none of this stuff made any sense. And like dude, NXT was never like this. NXT was never like this. Never like this. But yeah, man, it's changing, man. NXT is changing. It's changing. And it's changing for the worse. It's not even changing for the better. It's changing for the worse. And I am not looking forward to it either. I am not looking forward to it. And so yeah, man. So that was it with NXT for August 24th, 2021 on D Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, if you like this video, man, hit the thumbs up, man. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up if you're new to the channel. If you're watching D Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here every single week. Tuesdays for NXT, Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite, Thursdays for Impact Wrestling, Fridays for AEW Rampage, and Saturdays and Sundays are for the pay-per-views when they have their pay-per-views, whether it's WWE, AEW, or Impact Wrestling. You know, I'm there. And yeah, man, follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. We have CM Punk. We have CM Punk making his Dynamite debut, so I'm really excited about that, bro. Man, Friday was a great night, bro. On Friday, great night. CM Punk showing up, bro, after 7 years, saying that he'll never come back to professional wrestling. Finally came back after 7 years later, bro. Oh my gosh, dude, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. And you, dude, I'm telling you, people are still talking about CM Punk to this day, bro. And I just can't wait. I just cannot wait to see what happens with Punk next on Dynamite, bro. On AEW in general, man. I just have a long list of guys that I want to see Punk face in AEW, bro. Like I have a long list. But yeah, man. But right now he's going after Darby Allin at All Out, so I can't wait for that, bro. Like you already got me sold. You already got me sold on All Out. I was already buying the pay-per-view anyways. And now you give me CM Punk and Darby Allin, dude. I'm even more sold. Come on, dude. I'm even more sold. But yeah, bro. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I cannot wait for Wednesday. And yeah, man. And if you missed my NXT Takeover review, NXT Takeover 36 review, video is going to be right up here. And the link to that video will be down below in the description. And also, if you missed last week's review, the Go Home Show, if you missed the Go Home Show before NXT Takeover 36, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. And the link to that video will also be down below in the description. So make sure you click up here to any of these videos and then click down or click down below in the link of the descriptions if you missed it. Or click down below in the link in the descriptions. And yeah, man. yeah, and once again, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Dynamite. And once again, man, thank you for all the love and the support for the show. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.